Welcome to the Invisible to Invincible Summit, where our next speaker is Mary Jackson. And it's funny because she goes by, what's your Jackson 5?
Yeah, we're J5, Jackson 5, yes.
J5, Jackson 5, because she's 5 people in our family. I just thought that was funny when I first heard that.
I know.
So I met Mary. I met Mary about a year and a half or so ago at, I don't remember exactly how we met, but I'm just glad
It's
we
a
did.
good story. It's a really good story.
Oh, it is. It's a really great story.
It's a very
If you
good
have
story.
time, you can share that story.
Okay, yes.
There's our
I
little
was in the middle
teaser
of
there.
a party in a
Wait,
neighborhood.
no. If you have time, you can share that story at the end. Okay. Because we want to make sure that we get your brilliance into this today, because they were talking about acknowledging your brilliance today. This is Mary's topic. And I love this topic because when I was going through, breaking through a fear every single day for a year, one of the things I had this epiphany of is that we are all born with brilliance. Some of us just don't know it. We don't believe it. And maybe we'll never know it. But it took me until I was 51, 52 years old to really see that I had brilliance, and then for me to actually step into that. So I'm excited about this topic, acknowledging your brilliance and then stepping into it. Our next speaker is Mary Jackson. Mary, you got the floor. It's all yours.
Okay, so I'm so excited to be here today and a little nervous, but so excited, more excited than anything. And so thankful to be a part of, our Invincible book and this group of really empowered women. I know we have empowered men that we love to connect with. And so Linda said, my name is Mary Elizabeth Jackson. I am a wife. I'm a mother of 3 children. I call them my miracles because I was told I couldn't have children. And I am also an award-winning author. I am an advocate for special needs and disabilities. I have co-founded and co-host 2 online shows, one for authors and one for special needs. I'm also an educator and entertainer, and I like to add intuitive and empath to that as well, because that's very much a part of my world. And we are all so much more sensitive right now, even if you're not sure if you're an empath or not, which means that you have that ability to feel other people's emotions and sense what they're going through or what they're feeling. And we're all very sensitive right now to what we've all been going through for a couple of years. So my focus is acknowledging that inner brilliance that we have, because along my journey as well, Linda, that has just become more and more part of me, what I teach, what I write about. I use writing to empower kids and empower young adults and teenagers and adults. And we have to acknowledge that brilliance inside of us. And like you said, a lot of us don't know we have it. It's really cool. Recently, I don't know how long ago, someone, took a video camera and actually videotaped conception. And at that moment of conception, there was a light that went off. So really, we start with that light. It happens at the moment. And you think about it's probably an electrical explosion that happens in the body, right? When a baby is conceived. But, through life, things that we learn, those things that we buy into, home life, conditions being broken through life, that light just dims and dims and dims. And I'm going to teach some tools today that I actually use in my life. I kind of created these myself just through trying to find ways to be creative. I like to use visualization a lot for myself. Anyone I'm working with, I've taught my children how to use this. So I use what I call the 5 elements, and the 5 elements exist. And the ones for the body are earth, fire, air, water, and space. So if you are taking notes, write those down. If you don't have a piece of paper, get one. And so because we're going to go through each of those, I'm going to teach something to you with each of those to use that you can use every day in your life. I do want to say that I personally just came through one of the darkest periods of my life. So prior to December 17th, I feel like I looked at the world a little differently. And then going through COVID and being in the hospital twice and almost dying, it really changed me it just changed everything about my life and how I look at things. And I use these tools in my life to help me heal and get through, because some days were a constant praying and saying, I want to be here. I need to be here. I have 3 children to raise. I have a life to live. I have a mission. And, I want to be here. And it, like Whitney said earlier, that the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. So what's wonderful is using visualization. The more that we can get into that place of seeing ourselves where we want to be, then we can actually make that happen, because the mind doesn't know, it's not real. So I had to continually visualize my body healing, and I worked on myself over and over again. And what I also did was I ended up going through a lot of stuff that I needed to let go of that I didn't even realize. And most of us don't, right, Linda? Because we're so busy being busy in life to be successful or conquer. We don't stop to take care of some of those things that we need to take care of within ourselves, emotionally, mentally, physically. And being a mom, I know for us moms, we always put ourselves on the back burner. So yes, busy, being busy. So what I'd like to do is I want to talk to you about the first one, which is the earth, or we can call it grounding. And I don't know how much everybody is aware of grounding, but if you guys would be open-minded to us closing our eyes. If you're driving, please don't. Wait until you go back and watch this on the replay. Oop, hold on. Okay, battery's about to go dead. I don't want that. So we have to, as we're sitting here in our chair, or if you're standing wherever you are, let's all, what I want to explain about grounding, first of all, is that what it does is it allows us to come into the moment of what we're doing, sitting there in the chair, being still. We're not in the future. We're not in the past. We're actually in the moment. And most of the time when you're in the moment, then you can resolve an issue or be able to see clearly how to overcome a challenge that you might have going on presently in your life. And so if everybody that can, again, if you're driving, please don't do this. We're going to close our eyes and we want to take a deep breath in and then release it out. Let's take another deep breath in and release it out. And as we're releasing it out, imagine that the bottom of your feet have weights on them. So you're connected to the earth and the ground so that you can calm yourself down from the busy pace of your life, the worries, the fears, the frustrations. Feel yourself sitting, or even if you're standing, and allow yourself to really feel where you're at in the moment. And this is something that you can do any time of the day or night that you need to kind of reset yourself, to be able to face a situation, or if you're a writer and you have a block, this can help you to clear through that block, to see the next chapter or find an answer to a problem, or to allow yourself the place to let go of something that you need to let go of. Okay, what I want to do right now is I want to take you guys through using, as we're kind of peaceful and calm, I want to take you through using the next element of fire. Okay, so what I want you to do is close your eyes if you're able to, and see yourself going down, descending down some stairs, down into a room below where you're at. And as you get down there, there's an element of fire there. There's a fire pit, or there's a glowing light. And I want you to look over to the right, and to the right of the fire is a table with a book on it. And in that book, it has whatever is going on for you in the moment that's a challenge, or that you're ready to look at and face, or try to work through, or if it's a problem at work or with your children, or anything can be in this book. So what I want you to do is pick up the book, and I want you to throw it in the fire and just let it go as we breathe in deeply And then we can breathe out. As we breathe out, we just let it go into the fire, just releasing it. It's just dissolving. And we turn around and we come back up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs, there's a table to the left of you. So we are engaging the right brain and the left brain in this exercise. And there is a book, and this book is beautiful and vibrant, and there's light all around this book. And in this book are the positive words you need, the encouragement you need, the understanding you need. There's a hug in this book. If you need a hug, whatever you need is in this book in that moment. And you are able to take that book with you wherever you need to go and use it. The great thing about visualization is your creativity and your mind can go wherever it wants to go. And the key to success with this is feeling what you're doing, actually feeling it, or smelling it, seeing it, hearing it, tasting it, whatever it is. Okay, so now we're going to work with water. We're going to go into out the door, and there is a pool of water there in front of you. And you can use this physically in your life as well. You know, if you have a pool or you want to get in the tub, but I want you to see a waterfall in front of you, a very gentle one. It's very gentle and very easy, and it's very peaceful here. And I want you to feel that water just flowing over you, because this is a really great exercise for kind of like, it's like releasing and washing off all of the day's stresses and worries and fears and concerns. It's like a renewing of yourself so that you can be clearer in moving forward in whatever it is in your life that you need to do. So for me, I would wash off the virus of my body. I would cleanse my body with the water and just see it leaving. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to go to and you all can take as much time when you're doing this yourself as you need. I know we don't have a lot of time right now, so let's go to the element of air. And this one I really, I like. I think it's kind of fun, and it engages our inner child. And you can do this in real life, or you can visualize this. So I'm just giving you this visual for today. But what you're going to do is see a bottle of bubbles on the table next to you. And then you either open a window or a door. And for the element of air, what we're going to do is we're going to blow into the bubble whatever it is you need to let go of. Anger, frustration, just all those things that pile up every day and we need to let go of. You're going to blow those into your bubbles for as long as you need to. And then as they're leaving you, they're going out into the air itself, and they're releasing, and it's no longer a part of you anymore. So it's like releasing some weights off of you as well. And after you're done with that, then we're going to go back and blow into the bubbles all the positive things that you want in your life, seeing solutions to problems, seeing healing of your body, seeing your body whole, seeing relationships whole and relationships mended, forgiveness, seeing that job that you want, or that home, or conceiving a child, or solutions to an issue with a child you may have, or your spouse, or a family member. And we put all that love and positivity in those bubbles, and we send those out into the world so that they can be made true for us in our life. And now we can open our eyes and come back into where we are right now, especially those of us who are sitting and not driving. So the next two elements we're going to talk about is space. And then I added one, and that's paper. Because of being an author, I use this tool very, very much in my life every day. And I know some of these may not seem like, how could that help me in my everyday life? But if you will apply them, it's like a muscle we have to work out every single day. And there may be a tool here that doesn't work for everything, but try different ones out and see what applies to whatever the situation is that you're dealing with, or going through, or happen upon. And the more that you apply it, the more they work. For space is about self-care. And a lot of us don't take that time for self-care. And of course, going through what I just went through, I had to learn a lot about self-care, and I'm still having to. I'm week 7 here, and still having to learn those boundaries for myself of what is enough, when I've done enough for someone else, like my children, when I need them to do more, when I need to ask for help. I had to ask for a lot of help through this. I had to ask for help with taking care of my kids, getting groceries, cleaning the house, all those things that I do. I had to really invoke asking for help and learning how to go take that bath, or just sit and do nothing, read a book, or just be in a space by myself. And one of the things that is really, if you can't do it every day, and you don't have time, or don't feel like there's not that time in my life, then try taking space for yourself 5 minutes or 30 minutes, or break up time during the week. Or if you have time to start, do 1 hour 3 times a week, and start to write about that to see how you feel. How did it make you feel? Were you able to really laser in on, what is it that I want in my life? What is it that I need in my life? What's going to make my light shine brighter in this world? What am I passionate about? What do I care about? What are my nurturing needs that I need for myself? And this helps us to learn more about who we are and what we need. And the more that we do that, the more we are able to go in and fill ourselves with love, not an egotistical love, like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. No, this is a self-love. Like, I'm a human being on this earth, and I'm a woman who cares about others, and I have passion and motivation to help inspire others to see the light within them. I'm able to give more by filling myself up, which I always kind of went, yeah, I'll do that whenever, or I don't have time for that, or I would pretend to have it there. So through this time, when I got to really feel and understand what it feels like to actually really do that for myself, and to really understand what it means to self-care. And it's not a selfish thing, which a lot of us caregivers, we don't get that. We just think we're going to care, and we'll refuel one day, or sleep is for the birds, So it's not true, because I had lived that way. That's what wore me down so much. I was doing way too many things, and it wore me down enough that I got as sick as I did. And so now I am very focused on what I want to do in my life, what my path is. And then I decide what my choices are, what I want to add in, what I want to be a part of, what I want to allow to be there for myself. So I also use writing. And the reason I want to talk about writing, not just that I'm an author, I've used writing my entire life. And I used to write a lot of poetry because that seemed to really help me release and fulfill just whatever it was inside myself, the words that needed to come out. But what I was taught a long time ago was when we put it on paper, whether you are writing and you want to get published, or you just need to write to let go, is that when it's on the paper, it's out of you, it's out of here, it's out of all these places in your body, wherever you're carrying it. And it's sort of like being an eagle way, way up high in the sky, and you're flying around and you're looking at all of those words down there on the paper. And all of a sudden, they seem a whole lot smaller than they were before. So then it's not as overwhelming, and it's easier to tackle a problem or tackle ourselves or see a solution. It'll come easier when we're not so involved that we can't see the solution for it. So I really love paper as well. And paper is a really good tool to write. If you're angry and you're mad and you're just so frustrated, you rip it up and throw it in the fire. Small flame, so you don't burn the house down, you don't hurt anybody else. But all of these tools I use, and I have taught them to others, and I'm still teaching, but I have used it all the way through my healing. And it made 100% difference in my life from where I was to where I am now. So I would like to, encourage anyone out there to use these visualizations or tools and apply them to your life, because they can be applied to even the smallest thing. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be really small too, So.
Awesome, Mary. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. What tremendous value. And, when we apply these different tips and tricks to our lives, they may work for some people, but they might not work for others. And because I was sharing that for me, like, I'm not a visual person. So every time we go into those visualization exercises, I break out my paper and pen and I start writing.
Right.
Because that's how I am able to capture those. So the point here is that we all are different, right? And so what we do is we share different ideas and thoughts of how we can move into that state of mind that we, for lack of a better term, need. I hate the word need. I just don't think it's a good word. I hate the word hate too, though.
Oh yeah, it's not very fun, is it? I know.
Yeah, so finding those different techniques that work for us. But I'm curious because your topic today, it was acknowledging your inner brilliance. So what was it like for you when you finally came to that realization that, I am pretty damn brilliant?
You know what? It was really empowering. That is the biggest word I can think of. And Linda, I want to go back for just a second, because I use visualization today because, if I was working with people, we would have physical tools to use, like actually writing it down and then ripping it up and putting it in a fire and burning it, or stepping all over it, or drowning it in water. You know what I mean? Just so it's sort of like we want to engage all 9 sources of the sensory, the input that we take, and that engages all of it. But this is just using the mind today in this sense. But I would say that it was like that moment when I decided the world doesn't decide who I am. I don't wait for the approval from my husband or my children or the neighbor next door. I'm just going to be in my space doing what I'm led to do. My spirit, my soul, my higher self, whatever is telling me, this is your path. This is what you were intended to do. And it takes sometimes a long time to find that. And we just have to keep trying and trying. But I think you have to get quiet, and you have to decide who you really are, not what somebody else says that you are. Not even that little, listen, my father abandoned us when I was a child. So what did I learn? I learned abandonment, right? So my daughter's going to go to college 4 years ago. I'm crying like a flippin' baby, and I can't figure out what is wrong with me. She's going 3 hours away. And then it dawned on me, abandonment. It feels like she's abandoning me. So I really had to tackle some of those things. But what abandonment taught me was that I wasn't good enough to be loved. if my father didn't love me, why wouldn't anybody else love me? Right. We carry that stuff with us from childhood. So I had to get to that place to know that, okay, I have a light, you have a light, we all have a light. And the biggest disservice that we do to ourselves, the biggest betrayal that we do is denying that truth about ourselves.
So good. What was that you said about abandonment? I'm gonna have to go back and listen because that's a great title of a talk. I can't remember. There were 3 words you said, something about abandonment. If anybody can remember.
You say something you forget.
Yeah, it wasn't embracing abandonment, but it was something kind of along that lines. I think it would be a great title of your talk. So Sally would like to know the how you met me story.
Oh, yes. So, okay. So we have a mutual friend, Brigetti. That's who I co-host with. And so I had just released, my first book. It was 2017. And the book was in a contest for a cover war. And somehow Brigetti told Linda, and then she connected us. And I was at a party in the neighborhood, and it was like a crawfish broil or something, and you called me, or Brigetti did, or something, and said, hey, let's do a live right now. So I went into their kitchen and we did a live, you and I together, to get people to vote for my book. And that's how you and I met. So I think it's a great story.
It was one of those spontaneous things, right? Because she had this book, she was in a contest, and I didn't know her, but I was just like, hey, you want my help? Let's see what I can do to help you. And then we just went live to, help her to get more votes. And that was what it was all about. Yeah. But I love, because, I love doing that stuff. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
People don't even have to ask me. like I'm just going to do it because I love doing that kind of stuff. And that kind of goes into what you're talking about, right? To acknowledging that brilliance. So part of my brilliance is stepping into those, what's the word? Like spontaneous moments. I'm very spontaneous, and to not allow something to stop me from moving into that spontaneity, because I could have, and probably in the past, I would have been like, oh, she'll probably think I'm a weirdo, or something like that. But instead I'm like, hey, I'll just reach out. If she says no, and that's okay. I'll just keep on going on with my day. Right.
Yeah. And people were coming in out of the kitchen, like, what are you doing? Oh, don't worry about it. We just went on and we did it. And it was a lot of fun. But, I used, when I was so sick, I didn't see a light. You know what I mean? I just couldn't see it. My daughter even said to me, Mom, your light is so dim, right? And that just made me cry. It makes me feel like crying now. But, we have to be willing to own the things that have happened to us in our life, or the things that we've done, or go, I'm going to analyze myself right now, and I want to move all these rocks out of the way, because I want my light to shine brightly, not because I'm better than anyone else, but because our light's shining helps other people to shine their lights. And it helps lead us into the place we all want to be, which is so much more empowered and inspiring, and just living our best life,
Yeah. That's so true. That's where we're lighting the way for others, right? Again, providing that beacon of hope, that, that spotlight, or whatever it is, because sometimes it's hard for us to see that light. And all we need is that little light, little tiny pinhole of light to shine through, for us to see that there's a way out of this darkness. So,
and then we can take our shovel.
Yes, exactly.
Get all the crap out of the way.
Yes. Shovel that crap out of the way and just keep on moving. Mary, this was brilliant. Thank you. Brilliant. See, I said the word brilliant. So thank you so much for sharing. And please tell everybody how they can get in contact with you, and then also drop your information in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. So you can go to www.maryejackson.com, and I have a section on there for downloads. They're free, and there are 3 of them, and they will help. Their writing prompts. Their prompts for better emotional, mental well-being. And so please go to my website. My books are there too. The shows are there, but you can get those downloads to help you. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn underneath my name. And please connect with me. And, let's use tools to better our lives, right? To see our brilliance.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Mary, for being part of the Invisible to Invincible Summit.
That's right.
I'll get a little bit louder as the day goes on. Thank you.